Good evening, mathematicians. Welcome to lesson 2.7. Tonight we're going to be learning how to multiply using partial products. If you would, go ahead and turn with me to page 35 in your Go Math books. We're going to write our essential question at the very top where it says name. Our essential question this evening is, how can you use place, value, and partial products to multiply by a one-digit number? So as soon as you have that at the top of your page where it says name, you can push play and we'll move right along. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at our number 2. Number 2 asks us to estimate, then record the product. And I know in order to estimate 640 times 3, I need to round my larger factor, which is 640. I know that that rounds to 600. Multiplied by my 3 is going to give me 1,800. So my estimate, if I were to multiply 640 times 3, is 1,800. And if you look to the right, I've drawn a box model. This is exactly like we've done in class so far. And because 640 has 3 place values, I'm going to go ahead and draw 3 sections to our box model. And now I'm going to go ahead and break up 640 into expanded form. And I'm going to put it at the very top of our box model. So I have 600, 40, and 0. And because I'm multiplying by 3, I'm going to go ahead and put my 3 out to the left. So now I'm ready to multiply my 3 by my expanded forms in order to get my partial products. I know that 3 times 600 is going to give me 1,800. My 3 times 40 is going to give me 120. And my 3 times 0, as we know, is 0. Now, boys and girls, we're going to line these partial products up a little bit differently than you've done before. Before, we've lined them up horizontally. And today, we're actually going to line them up vertically. So watch how I do this. I'm going to take my first partial product, which is 1,800, and my biggest partial product, and line them up right underneath my equation. Then I'm going to take 120 and put them right down there as well. And don't forget my 0 at the very end. Now, in order to get my final product, I have to add all of my partial products. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is going to give me 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 8 plus 1 gives me 9. And bring down my 1. So my final product for 640 times 3 is 1,920. And if we take a look at our estimate, we can see that 1,800 that we estimated previously is very close to our 1,920. So that means we did our estimation correct. All right, boys and girls, so now it's time for you to try one on your own. I am going to help you set it up, and then I want you to try it all on your own. So we know that $149 is actually rounded to 100. Multiplied by 5 gives me my estimate of 500. Don't forget your dollar sign. Now, boys and girls, because 149 has 3 place values, my box model is going to be split into 3 different sections. All right, at this time, go ahead and pause and work out this problem on your own. Go ahead and push play when you're ready, and we'll go over the answer together. Good luck to you. I know you'll do great. All right, everybody, and here is your final product of $745. If we take a look at our estimate, we know that we estimated 500. It's pretty close to 745. Now take a look at your math. The biggest mistake that I've seen boys and girls make is when they're multiplying the 5 times 40, well, your product of 5 times 4 gives you a product with a 0 at the end. So that's a mistake I've seen boys and girls make, that whenever they multiply the product, they forgot their extra 0 at the end. So go ahead and make sure your math is correct, and we're going to go ahead and move on. All right, Smarties, time for practice on your own. So what I'd like for you to do is circle the following numbers with me. We're going to circle number 6, number 8, number 10, and number 12. Go ahead and take a shot at these by yourself, and we're going to check the answers in just a few moments as soon as you're ready. So remember, we're doing 6, 8, 10, and number 12. I do want for you to draw your box models. Now you can draw your box models on a different piece of paper, or if you have any kind of room on your Go Math page, you may do that. I know space is limited, but go ahead and draw your box models and go ahead and answer these questions, and we're going to check them in just a moment. All right, everybody, it's time to check our answers. Go ahead and check over your answers. Pause if you need to. If you need to pause me for a moment, you're welcome to. I also want to point out that your dollar signs are very important in number 6 and number 12, so go ahead and make sure those dollar signs are included in your answer. Whenever you're ready to move on, you can go ahead and push play. We're going to move on to the next problem. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and read our number 13. Go ahead and follow along with me as I read it. A maze at a county fair is made from 275 bales of hay. That's at the county fair. The maze at the state fair is made from 4 times as many bales of hay. How many bales of hay are used for the maze at the state fair? It's wanting to know. So I know that I can take my 275 bales of hay, which is at the county fair, but there's 4 times as many bales of hay at the state fair, and that's the number I want to find. I can use partial product and place value to help me find this answer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my box model. And I'm going to have 3 areas because 275 has 3 place values. I'm going to go ahead and write 275 in expanded form on the top. And I'm going to bring my 4 over here because that's what we're multiplying by. That's one of our multiples that we're going to multiply to get our partial products. All right, and as I continue to multiply, I'm going to do 4 times 200 gives me 800. 4 times 70 gives me 280. And 4 times 5 gives me 20. And remember, we have to add all of these partial products in order to get our final product. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up our partial products underneath my equation, and I'm going to go from greatest number to smallest number. So I have 800 plus 280 plus 20. And I'm going to add those all together. And when I add those all together, I get 1,100. So in order to answer the question, how many bales of hay are used for the maze at the state fair, we can say 1,100 bales of hay. And 1,100 is my final answer. All right, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and look at number 14. And go ahead and read along with me as I read to you. Pedro gets 8 hours of sleep each night. It's a key word, each night. How many hours does Pedro sleep in a year with 365 days? I want you to go ahead and set up your multiplication problem. Go ahead and set up your box model, and I want to see your work in your book tomorrow. So go ahead and set everything up, come back to me, and we'll get our answer together. All right, go ahead and check your work, mathematicians, and go ahead and check out my box model. I know that 365 is broken up in expanded form, 300, 60, and 5. I multiplied to get my partial products, added them to get my final product, and I found out that Pedro sleeps 2,920 hours in a year that has 365 days. So go ahead and check your math. If you did not get it correct, go ahead and find out where your mistake was. And if you still have questions, we're happy to answer them tomorrow for you in class. All right, Brainiacs, time to go ahead and practice what you have learned this evening. So numbers 1 and 2 are our new skill that we've learned. But I do need you to go ahead and do numbers 1 through 6. 1 through 2, like I said, are of our brand new skill we learned. And numbers 3 through 6, those are just review, but it's always good to review the skills so you make sure you don't forget them. So go ahead and do 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're going to check them in class tomorrow. And before we end our evening together, don't forget to assess yourself. Go ahead and write it at the bottom of your homework page. Are you a 1, novice? I'm just starting to learn this. I really don't understand it still. An apprentice. Number 2, I'm starting to get it. I still need some coaching. 3, a practitioner. I can do it by myself, but I may get stuck sometimes. Number 4, an expert. I understand it well, that I can teach it to someone. So go ahead and rate yourself a 1, 2, a 3, or 4 at the very bottom of your page. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow in class.